Hi there, and thanks very much for watching my very first tutorial. I'm going to try and replicate Boards of Canada's Kaini Industries from their album Music Has the Right to Children. I'm going to try and do it in the box. Now, whilst I have replicated it on the Roland SH101, which is a synth that I am proud to own, and it's said to have been used extensively on that album, I'm going to try and bring across those settings onto Ableton's very own analog synth, and that should benefit anybody who wants to see how this is done and do it in the box. So we should end up with something like this. Alright, you get the picture. So let's get started then. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to drag a new instance of Analog into Ableton. And we're going to add a couple of effects as well. So in audio effects in Ableton, we're going to grab EQ8. And we're going to grab the reverb. Okay. So we'll turn off EQ8 for the moment, and the reverb, we're just going to change a couple of settings. We're going to bring down the dry wet down to 40%, and we're going to change the decay time, and we're going to change that to 1.76. so we're just moving it up slightly. Okay, now on Analog, as you can hear, it's quite a generic 2 oscillator sound we've got going on here now. But what we're going to do is turn off oscillator 2, because we only used the 1 oscillator here. We're going to leave everything as it is in the oscillator 1 section. It is a saw wave, and the settings stay as they are. We're going through filter 1, and we're going to leave everything else as it is. The detunes we will come back to afterwards. Right on over then to our filter. So our filter we're changing to a 2-pole, so low pass 12 dB per octave, and we're going to change the frequency on that. We're going to change it to 378. So going down to 378. And we're going to change the resolution to 42%. Now we come down here, we're going to change some envelope settings on the filter on the main screen. So we change it to slope to linear. Leave the attack at 5 milliseconds. The decay on the other side, on the other hand, is 3.18. Where am I going? There we go, 3.18. Sustain is 0.80. And the release is 2.99. Okay, and below that we're changing the drive to Sim2. LFO1 we're changing it to 0.95. It's grayed out now because the LFO1 is not turned on currently, but it will be. So 0.95. There we go. The key track is 0.83. Envelope is 1.64. So these are the settings under the frequency mod. 1.64. And we leave the resolution, or the resonance mod, we leave it as it is. Okay. That looks good. We're now moving on to our amp 1. Amp 1 stays exactly as it is, except for the envelopes again, so we're changing it to linear. The settings are very close to that of the filter 1 settings, and that is because the SH101 synth that was originally used, the amp and the filter shared an envelope, so they were identical settings. Not quite identical here. I've made a couple of kind of changes, but they are very slight. So 3.60. Now sustain 0.8 again. And the release is 2.99 again. Okay, we're looking good, we're getting places. Everything else is as it is. We're moving along now. We're moving to the LFO. LFO 1. We're going to turn it on. And the rate goes to 0.2 hertz. Nice and slow. And the wave itself is a triangle, just like on the SH101. So now back here, we're going to introduce some noise to give it a more analog feel. And we're going to bring the noise right down. It's going to be very subtle. We're going to bring it down to minus 27 decibels. And the color is going to be 2.9. 2.9. Okay, so it's very, very subtle. Now we're nearly there. We're going to jump across to the vibrato in the main section. I'm going to turn on vibrato. I'm going to bring it up to 48%. I'm going to bring the rate, nice and slow again, right down to 1.4 hertz. Now over here on the main screen, we're changing voices to mono. It's monophonic. I should have something. We're just about there now, folks, so I'm going to introduce some equalization now, and it's going to make a huge difference. We'll just knock it on here. Number 1, we're going to change it to 60 hertz or thereabouts, somewhere there or thereabouts. It's not crucial. And we change it to a high pass filter. And we're going to give it a little bit of a bump there as well. Okay. Number 2, we're going to set that at 200, which is where it is now. We're just going to give that a bit of a bump, a little higher than we gave on our first band. Number 3, we're bringing that frequency to 550 hertz or somewhere around there. That will do. 550. Okay, and we're going to give that a very slight bump there as well. Okay, that should, now we should have. Now, something else you could try, and it's optional, but I think it adds something, is in Max for Live, if you grab your LFO device, I'm going to grab the LFO MIDI device. drop it in there before analog. And what I do here is I set the LFO rate to 1.91, that'll do. Depth of 4.8. Again, nice and slow. 4.8. That will do it, 4.86. And I'm going to change it to a random wave. I'm going to smooth it out so it's nice and slow and random. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to map that to the detune on oscillator 1 on the synth. I did say we'd come back to that. And now, as you can see, it's doing a kind of a random thing. And that combined, it's very slight, it's very subtle, and it's random. And that combined with the vibrato that we set is going to give that a nice little bit of something. So, all things combined, we now should have something that's quite nice. Let's give it a go here with the MIDI file that I obtained on the internet. It's not my MIDI file, so any errors in the melody are not mine. This isn't exact, but I think you'll agree it's in the right ballpark, considering. Very nice. I like that. I like that. It's got that nice, warm kind of feel to it. So, if you've liked what you've heard, or if you learned something, or if this was useful to you at all, please subscribe, comment, or like. And if everything goes well, I'll stick up maybe a few more of these tutorials. We'll see how it goes. In any case, thank you very much for watching. I've enjoyed that. Alright, take care now.